Hello everyone, this is Marilyn C. Malay again. In this video, I am going to show and demonstrate to you my own made model, which is about the theories of development. So as what you see, I use 6 theories in my model, and this includes Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory, Jane Piaget, her cognitive development theory, Erickson, psychosocial theory, Lawrence Kholberg, his moral development theory, Lev Vygotzky, his socio-cultural theory, and the last one by Urie Bronfenbrenner, his bio-ecological theory. Psychoanalytic theory by Sigmund Freud is relating to or involving psychoanalysis. This is all about studying and understanding mental processes, brain functions, and behavior of a child. So according to Freud, behavior is controlled by unconscious urges. And according to him, there are 3 components of the mind, and these are the id, ego, and superego. Freud said that a well-adjusted person is one who has strong ego, who can help satisfy the needs of the id without going against the superego, while maintaining the person's sense of what is logical, practical, and real. Of course, it is not easy for the ego to do all that and strike a balance. If the id exerts too much power over the ego, the person becomes too impulsive and pleasure-seeking behavior takes over one's life. In the opposite direction, one may find the superego so strong that the ego is overpowered. The person becomes so harsh and judgmental to himself and others' actions. The person's best effort to be good may still fall short of the superego's expectations. According to Freud, the ability of a learner to be well adjusted is largely influenced by how the learner was brought up. His experiences about how his parents met his needs, the extent to which he was allowed to do the things he wanted to do, and also how he was taught about right and wrong. All figures to the type of personality and consequent adjustment that a person will make. Freud believed that the personality of an individual is formed early during the childhood years. So next, let us tackle about the cognitive development theory by Jane Piaget. So when we say cognitive, this is relating to or involving conscious intellectual activity such as thinking, reasoning, or remembering. It is about the mental process of thinking and understanding. Cognitive theory is concerned with the development of a person's thought processes. It also looks at how these thought processes influence how we understand and interact with the world. Theorist Jane Piaget proposed one of the most influential theories of cognitive development. Piaget proposed a theory of cognitive development to account for the steps and sequence of children's intellectual development. These are the sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. Sensory motor stage, it is a period of time between birth and age 2, during which an infant's knowledge of the world is limited to his or her sensory perceptions and motor activities. Behaviors are limited to simple motor responses caused by sensory stimuli. Next is the pre-operational stage. So this is at the period between ages 2 and 6 during which a child learns to use language. During this stage, children do not yet understand concrete logic, cannot mentally manipulate information, and are unable to take the point of view of other people. The third one is the concrete operational stage. This is at a period between ages 7 and 11, during which children gain a better understanding of mental operations. Children begin thinking logically about concrete events, but have difficulty understanding abstract or hypothetical concepts. The last stage is the formal operational stage, a period between age 12 to adulthood when people develop the ability to think about abstract concepts. Skills such as logical thought, deductive reasoning, and systematic planning also emerge during this stage. So now is the psychosocial theory by Erickson. So when we say psychosocial, this is relating to the interrelation of social factors and individuals' thought and behavior. This is pertaining to the influence of social factors on an individual's mind or behavior. Erickson built upon Freud's work. He identified 8 separate stages across the lifespan, and these are the following stages with its corresponding virtue. Number 1, trust versus mistrust, hope. Number 2, autonomy versus shame and doubt, willpower or determination. Number 3, initiative versus guilt, strength of purpose. 4, industry versus inferiority, competency. 5, identity versus role, confusion, fidelity. 6, ego integrity versus despair, wisdom. 7, intimacy versus isolation, love. 8, generativity versus stagnation, care. And the last one, 9, sense of involvement versus resignation or recognition, courage. Erickson believed that in each stage, we face a crisis that needs to be resolved in order for us to develop socially and emotionally. Each stage has a positive or negative outcome, though we tend not to be at either end of the spectrum. The outcome of the stage is determined by our environment and the caregiving strategies or experiences to which we are exposed. Now, the next theory to be tackled is the theory of moral development by Lawrence Kholberg. So when we say moral, this is concerning what is right or prudent that can be derived from a story, a piece of information, or an experience. This could be a person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. Kholberg is best known for his influential work in moral development. He based much of his work in the theories of Jean Piaget, studies in the cognitive development of children. He proposed 3 levels of moral reasoning. Level 1, pre-conventional, which means children's decisions are based on avoiding punishment and receiving rewards. Level 2, convention, which means upholding the rules of society. Level 3, post-conventional, individuals follow universal moral principles that may be more important in a particular group or country. Socio-cultural theory by Lev Vygotzky. So when we say socio-cultural, it is a complex set of meanings, habits, values, and behaviors adopted by one or more social formations. This is about human population viewed in its ecological context and as one of the many subsystems of a larger ecological system. Vygotsky proposed a seminal learning theory that has gone on to become very influential, especially in the field of education. Like Piaget, Vygotsky believed that children learn actively and through hands-on experiences. His socio-cultural theory also suggested that parents, caregivers, peers, and the culture at large were responsible for developing higher-order functions. In Vygotsky's view, learning is an inherently social process. Through interacting with others, learning becomes integrated into an individual's understanding of the world. This child development theory also introduced the concept of the zone of proximal development, which is the gap between what a person can do with help and what they can do on their own. It is with the help of more knowledgeable others that people are able to progressively learn and increase their skills and scope of understanding. The last theory to be tackled is the bio-ecological theory by Urie Bronfenbrenner. So when we say bio-ecological, this is relating to the relationship among different living organisms and their environment, or it is the study of the interrelation of plants and animals in their common environment. Bronfenbrenner developed the ecological systems theory. He emphasized a balance between nature and nurture, otherwise known as heredity and environment. To illustrate his theory, the child is placed in the middle of concentric circles surrounded by a variety of different factors which all influence the child. The four sections are referred to as the following. 1. Microsystem. In this system are the child's immediate family and surroundings. 2. Mesosystem. The broader surroundings and influences in the child's development. This system includes the preschool, doctor's surgery, and other influences in the child's and family's life. 3. Exosystem. A broader circle of people who indirectly influence the child. Things in the exosystem include the parents' workplace, the services available to the family, and the support networks they are involved in. The fourth one is the macrosystem. This is an even broader system that includes the values, customs, and attitudes of the cultural group the child belongs to. Bronfenbrenner sees the world in which the child grows as having a major influence in development. He describes this as a two-way influence. The personality and behavior of the child will influence the way people in the environment will interact with that child. He also believes that the interactions between environmental factors could affect the child's development. For instance, it is not just the influence of the parents on the child or the child care center on the child, but the way the parents and child care center staff get on. This process of interacting influences is known as reciprocal interactions. Bronfenbrenner recently modified his theory and acknowledged that the child's biological hereditary makeup combines with the environmental forces to mold developmental. That would be all. Thank you and God bless.